Let's talk about boundaries. They're hard for you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the hard things they can't be. But you didn't come to hear me sing. Or is that singing anyway? I don't know. But either way, please don't judge me. But if you do, it's all good. I don't take it personal. I'm just glad that you're taking a moment to drop in with me on today. I am Shirley with Envision You Counseling and Consulting Services, and I cannot guarantee you that you won't get some random lyric or tune from me in the future. But what you will get from me today is, you guessed it, talking about boundaries. Like I said, I'm Shirley with Envision You Counseling and Consulting Services, your partner in purpose, and we are going to start to address boundaries. Hang in there with us. And so we ask ourselves the question, what is a boundary? Literally, it's that thing that so many people talk about, but what in the heck really is it? And do I need it? Do I even have them? And you can go high, low, right, left, up, down, all around. And lots of people will give you different variations of a boundary. But for the intent and purpose of our talk today, a boundary, simply put, is something that's okay or not okay or right or wrong for me based on my individual value system. And so it's the thing essentially that helps me to tell the difference for myself to another person. So think about it like this. In nature, everything in nature has a beginning and an end to itself. The grass doesn't get confused and become a tree. The tree doesn't get confused and become the sky. The sky doesn't get confused and become the ground. So why in the heck, as human beings, do we have this struggle with knowing the difference between what's okay for me, where I start and where I am, and what's not okay for me? And that's what we want to give some more attention to today. So here's the deal. The reality is boundaries really can be hard to, number one, identify, but beyond that, actually set in place for ourselves as individuals. And so much of that goes beyond the person that you see looking at you in the mirror. A lot of what we learned during our childhood, whether it's through, caregivers, our faith communities, or just the overall community, our school that we went to, so many of the individuals and institutions that we've been connected to, cry out, here's the rule, that's the rule, here's a boundary, there's a boundary. And some of those things, guys, can be really awesome and really, really great. But some of those things, if I could be quite frankly honest with you, really are the thing that makes us feel like we're going in a loop because we're trying to practice and rehearse something that totally goes against or violates who we are in terms of our values as individuals. And so at the end of the day, if we don't take time to identify and set boundaries for ourselves, what we ultimately risk is being able to have healthy connection and relationship with ourselves and others, because the ability to say this is okay for me and that is not okay for me is actually a place where vulnerability and authenticity and true relationship and intimacy come from. So for the rest of this week, and honestly, we may go beyond a week, I don't know, but over the next few days in this week, we're going to talk about things like, how do I even identify, what my boundaries are? Like, how do I set a boundary in place? What happens when somebody maybe violates my boundary? How do I respond to a thing like that? How do I manage the relationships? People have been used to me responding and acting a certain way, and now I feel like there's a different way that I need to act. How do I deal with the fact that they don't know how to take me? All these things are valid things to consider, but at the end of the day, this is what it boils down to. If we do not set boundaries for ourselves, loves, if we do not set them for ourselves, someone else will set them for us. And when we allow other people to set boundaries for us that are in violation of what we value and what's okay for our lives, we don't do ourselves or anybody else a service. So, please take time, feel free to share this. Please continue to let us know if this is like meeting some of your needs, if you have any questions. But more than anything, I hope that this hits and finds you guys in a place of it just being helpful. That's all. That's all I'm really looking for. And I can't promise that I won't sing another song because I may sing it. It may not be well, but I may still try. Because you gotta be free. You gotta be who you are as a person. But beyond all that, I'm excited to continue to talk about this stuff with you guys and hopefully empower you to make some life-changing decisions for yourself. Peace.